Yeah, someone pointed out the other day that this hat matches this quite nicely, so let's do this. So, thank you for stopping by. In this video, basically last night I had a gig with Philly and Charlotte. Hello, and if you're watching, Miles, apparently you watch. I apologise for all the videos. Anyway, so the good friends that I've gigged with for years, but not my normal band. Phil on drums as well, amazing player, new to the area, and my good buddy Bobby Maxwell on keyboard and left-hand keys. Now it's a venue close to me, however, dodgy venue and an in-ear gig entirely. And I wanted to do a video with the Enigmatic gigging it, and so I went to some painstaking effort. Also Jim McDougall said he'd like to see some more good gig footage. Apparently it's something that some of you guys like sometimes. So I thought, well, let's make it a bit of a regular thing. You know, I'm gigging most weekends, so I can hopefully, you know, try some of this gear and stuff. This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. So, how did I actually have it set up? I have to be honest with you, it was a little bit of a hassle. Right, so, this is the Fractal FM9, which I had the Enigmatic essentially in an effects loop. So, the way that you do effects loops in the FM9 world, as I found out, is you set up the output that you're going to use. So output 3, you use that as like a send, and then you go back into input 3. So I got rid of the amp and cab that is in my normal preset and just stuck this in there. So basically the drives that you are hearing is like the Fractal version of a Timmy and a Zen drive. Then the clean is just like I've got a bit of a compressor up front, and then there's like a delay and that sort of stuff. So relatively simple, and you're hearing it direct to my laptop mostly. I might have blended in some camera audio depending on how it sounds, but you're basically getting what it would have sounded like in my ears if my in-ears weren't garbage. But anyway, that was that. So I didn't really enjoy the tone on the gig because my in-ears were kind of slipping out, and it's just really difficult, I find, to have much fun with in-ear mixes in general. Not that it's anything to do with the sound guy, Tom, but it's just the fact for me is that I don't like the feeling of having stuff in my ears. It sounds weird when I pause on that, doesn't it? Anyway, so I had some questions like, is the Enigmatic doing anything that the Fractal stuff can't do? I think I'm going to try and cover that in another video, kind of in depth, when I get more in depth with this. But one of the things about it is it pretty simple to get it set up. So all I did was I had it on the preset that you saw me using, which was the Drive preset. And because it's like a 2-channel thing, you just turn the Overdrive down, and then basically you've got your clean, which was what I was using it as, like a pedal platform. So really straightforward for that. I'll show you what it sounds like, and I guess hopefully it sounds quite good direct, you'd hope, right? And so I guess that's most of what you're getting with this, right? Good tones that are easy to access. And we know that Fractal, Line 6, all this other stuff can make good tones, but there is something different about the kind of interface here, right? It's just actual good old-fashioned knobs. So yes, the other point for me about this is that I'm not entirely sure how you're supposed to get the most out of what is essentially a 2-channel amplifier in this particular format, because as you know with the UA pedals, you've got kind of your one preset and then whatever the dials are set to. Now if you were to get really in depth with this sort of stuff and you had like a specific setting that you wanted for your clean and a specific setting that you wanted for your dirt channel, then all the time you're going to have to be setting up kind of the face of it, or you never touch it. So it's a little bit, to me, I don't know, this sort of pedal to me would suit 2 presets better, particularly when the amp underneath is a 2-channel amplifier. I don't know if you guys have any feelings on that. Does that make sense to you? But to have an ODS that only has like one preset available doesn't, I think, jive quite as well. And then I guess the other point is that are you going to use this particular model as a pedal platform? I think it makes a lot of sense when you have like a Vox style, when you have a deluxe reverb style. I think it makes slightly less sense when you have maybe the Dumble style. So yes, you have like a great bold clean, and yes, Robin Ford has used an amp in this way for a while, I guess John Mayer as well. So it's valid, but it's not, to me, getting the most out of what this pedal could do. So that's kind of the sort of question for me about this particular format for this pedal. Yes, it makes sense for a single channel amplifier, but actually for a dual channel amplifier, is there a better way that they could have done some of this stuff? It is my overall question. I think it works quite well in the loop of another unit, because then that unit becomes like the hub. So like for this Fractal stuff, obviously I've got the XLR outs that go to front of house, or likewise if I was going into a Helix. Otherwise, if you were to put this in your chain using it as a channel switching thing, because it doesn't have a loop, you would put your delays and reverbs presumably after this, and then you're going to front of house from the outputs of a delay or a reverb pedal, I presume is what people are doing, right? Unless all your effects go up front. But again, if you're going to be switching between clean and dirt channels, then that's probably not the best way to do that. So I don't know exactly how folks are using these live. I'd like to know your thoughts if you've got any, if you're a UA effects pedal kind of person. But that's kind of just my thoughts on it. On the gig, pretty seamless, worked nicely. I like having that room feature there. We'll hear how it sounds a bit more now, but I did get a chance to gig it, and it looks good, sounds good, I think. I'm going to do a more in-depth kind of comparison. Can it do anything that the Fractal stuff can't do, for example, or the Helix, Grammatico GSG? You know, they should be somewhat in that ballpark. We can turn the cabs off. Another thing that I might like to try with this actually is to just turn the cabs off altogether and go into the Fender. So if I could get a chance to gig it that way as well, I think, let me know in the comments, but be pretty cool. I'll give it a try. Cheers for stopping by. Here's some more playing. Cheers to Rob, Philly, Shah, Phil, and Tom. Cheers.